שלום עליכם, מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. For those here together in person, if you'll find someone near and wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Those online with us, of course, wishing a Shabbat Shalom to the others online as well, and to all of us here. It's good to be together. And those online who didn't brave the elements tonight, you still get some Shabbos time. It's nice that technology can help us, and though we can be here in person, and we've got a great oneg tonight, so the 40 of us who are here will get to enjoy it. There'll be plenty of food, don't worry. I wanted to begin before we light the Shabbos candles, actually, and before we say the Kiddush, before we enter our Shabbos prayers, the recognition of what today has been. I mean, on the Jewish calendar, we could say today ended as the sun set. But January 27th being International Holocaust Remembrance Day, which the UN established in 2005. But of course, it's linked with the liberation of Auschwitz, and our friend and past president, Stuart Bass, 20 years ago or so, asked me always to recognize this week, which we have our semi-annual meeting during this week, which is just a meeting to give everyone the updates of our congregation, but at some point in that meeting to link it and recognize the liberation of Auschwitz and the promise of our future as a community and how blessed we are in that as well. So we did that at our annual meeting this week, but more than that, today, seeing some of the posts and seeing some of the commentary and people's references to what this day is, I thought it was important for us to use that time to reflect on Shabbat and to recognize what it is. You know, Rabbi and me were talking a moment ago, though, it's sort of strange for us. For us as Jews, since 1953, I think, Yom HaShoah was established by the State of Israel, and that's our Holocaust Memorial Day. And of course, when Yom HaShoah was established, it was named Yom HaShoah v'Hagvura, the day of the Shoah and of heroism, linking ourselves to the day that it was chosen, which was the beginning of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, and the idea of heroism and standing up to the atrocities they experienced, and what that means for Israel and what it means for us as a people. But because it's January 27th, it makes it important for us to recognize as a world community what this day means. But I found something that I found very powerful today. One of the Holocaust museums in our country talked about the idea of this year's theme for them was ordinary people. And I read what they had written, and I added to it some of my own thoughts, so I'll read this short passage for you. Genocide is facilitated by ordinary people. Ordinary people turn a blind eye, believe propaganda, join murderous regimes, and those who are persecuted, oppressed, and murdered in genocide aren't persecuted because of crimes they've committed. They're persecuted simply because they are they are ordinary people who belong to a particular group, the Jewish community. Ordinary people were involved in all aspects of the Holocaust. Ordinary people were perpetrators and bystanders, rescuers and witnesses, and ordinary people were victims. Really, in every genocide, those targeted faced limited choices, choiceless choices, as some have taught, but in every genocide, perpetrators have choices, ordinary people have choices. Sometimes these choices are limited to, sometimes they had to make life-threatening decisions, and ordinary people were the ones who made brave decisions to rescue and to hide and to stand up. But ordinary people also made decisions to ignore what was going on around them, to be bystanders, to allow a genocide to continue. There are also extraordinary people in every genocide, remarkable, unusual people who went to extreme lengths to help, to rescue, to save. These were extraordinary measures. People who went to extreme depths to recognize what was happening. But also on the other side, people went to extreme depths to cause harm, to persecute, to murder. So maybe what's most important for us tonight, for us today, in this time, in our generation, is to consider how ordinary people such as ourselves can perhaps play a bigger part than we might imagine in challenging prejudice around us, to do more than never forget. Of course, to do everything in our power to eradicate anti-Semitism, to make sure it never happens again. But not just for us as a Jewish people, to make sure we use our voices and our strength to make sure no one ever faces atrocities and the prejudice this day remembers. It's difficult to talk about the Holocaust, to understand completely what happened, what we experienced as a people. Every time I meet a survivor, I wonder how they found their voice, how they found their hope, how they made their days normal. But then I read this one sentence from Elie Wiesel, who I think said it best. What is abnormal, he said, is that I am normal. That I survived the Holocaust. I went on to love beautiful girls and to talk and to write and to have toast and tea and to live my life. That is what is abnormal. We are a part of an unusual people, an unusually strong people who find our everyday in living, no matter what's going on around us, and making meaning in our days. So 78 years after the Holocaust, 75 years after the creation of the State of Israel, that's what we attest to, our being here, our celebrating Shabbat. What is Shabbat but a testament to who we are as a people, to find the joy, to give ourselves the freedom to rest, to have perspective, to find hope. So as we welcome Shabbat tonight, let us do that as well. Let us use the teaching of the world community that it's International Holocaust Remembrance Day as a reminder of what our ancestors, our people have been through, but also a reminder of what we see meaningful in our lives and our days, in our Shabbat, and the blessings we have in being a community. For those of us here in person, and for those of us online together, and what it means to be a part of a community and the blessings we have in that. So with that in mind, tonight is a prayer book service. And so online you can find the prayer book, the link there as well, with our YouTube page or on our website. And you can follow along with that. We begin with the lighting of the Shabbos candles, as I invite Julie Blair to join us on the bima and to help us in kindling the candles at this time.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvot ציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
We celebrate the sweetness of this day as Paulette Coffrin takes this Kiddush cup, and we celebrate the joy of Shabbat together with Cantor.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafel. Amen. L'chaim.
So as I said, it is a service in which we'll use our prayer book. I guess like all of our services, you don't really have to, but you can if you want. And we're on page 20 as we rise together for our call to worship.
Lai, 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 lai. Barechu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. Lai, 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 lai,
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bivaro ma'ariv aravim b'chuchma poter she'arim u'vitbuna mashana itim u'machlif et hazmanim u'msader et hakochavim b'mishmerotea b'rakia kirtzono. Together, praise are you, our God, ruler of the world, who brings about the evening star. Your wisdom makes the dawn appear. You differentiate the times and seasons of our lives. The stars follow their courses as a sign of a divine creative force in the universe. You have created the day and night, even though you cause the day to disappear and you bring on the night. You develop the separation and distinction one from the other. We call you ruler of the universe, but you are our living God. May you create understanding among us so that we might never take nature for granted. Praised are you, our Creator, who causes night to fall, as we recite the watchword of our faith. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
On page 23, these eternal words have been a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. Faith and choice bring understanding to the soul and sensitivity to the heart. In all times and places, our God has been a part of our lives. Our faith has been our rock and our help. We witnessed God's wonders when we went free from Egypt. When slavery's chains were broken, we witnessed it. May those who have the faith to believe also have the wisdom to be kind. O God, in whom we have all hope, we glorify your name now as our people have praised you throughout history.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך רוב עיניך, בוקע ים לפני משה. זה אלי אנו ואמירו, זה אלי אנו ואמירו, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה.
As we turn to page 25, we rise together for the Amidah and our central prayers of worship. We take a moment of silent meditation, either following the words in our prayer books or those that our hearts might prompt.
מתי תפתחו פי יגיד תהילתך. Eternal God, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei Avoteinu ve'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, ve'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Koneh HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, U'mevii Geula livnei bneihem, Lema'an Shemo b'Yahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Rav lehushia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofei cholim, U'matir asurim, U'mkayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha bal gevurot, U'midom eloch, Melech memid u'mechayeh, U'matzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kadoshim b'chol yom yalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
You are holy, and your name is holy, and we sing your praises every day. Praise are you, the holy God. Please be seated.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu L'shalom, V'ha'amidenu Malkeinu l'chaim, Ufros aleinu Sukat shlomecha. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. shelter from life's storms. Be our shelter from life's storms.
Let us lie down in peace, God, and permit us to wake up in the security of knowing that we are safe and loved. Be a shield around us and keep enemies, disease, violence, homelessness, and hunger far away from those we love. Keep us safe in the shadow of your wings, for you are our protector. You show compassion and mercy when you permit us the experience of seeing the shelter of your peace. Give to your people Israel and the world a time of peace.
V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam brit olam beini uvein bnei Yisrael oti leolam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz u'bayom hashvi'i Shabbat v'yinafash v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam brit olam v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat.
As Israel has preserved the Sabbath, so the Sabbath has preserved Israel. An everlasting covenant between God and the children of Israel, a reminder of creation. For in 6 days God created the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day God sanctified all life with rest.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki atahu melech adom lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adom lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. טסים לעולם, טסים לעולם.
And together on page 29, we read our prayers for peace. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country that it may always be a stronghold of peace and its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within its borders, health and happiness within its homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship among the inhabitants of all lands. And may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Blessed is the eternal God, the source of peace. In a moment, we'll take Torah out of the ark and walk around with it. Take a moment to reach out to it for those who would like to, hoping that the words of Torah that they found would be present on our lips as well. And that just as Torah has given us strength for thousands of years, that it continue to give us strength, and that strength as well to our loved ones who are in need of healing. Please rise. Mishberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov, v'imotenu Sarah Rivka Leah v'Rachel, hu yivarech et acholim. Merciful God, who blessed our ancestors, send your blessings to our loved ones who are stricken with illness or anxiety. To Amy Drysdale-Atler, Suzanne Becker, Michael Brody, Blanche Crane, Karen Kasman, Patty Seresny, Liz Dudash, Michael Eisen, Barbara Esrig, Carl Fisher, Ann Gotro, Danielle Goldberg, Barry Grant, Batya Batbeshya Panina, Ava Habercorn Home, Ty Hall, Hank Heiser, Carol Kaufman, Karen Coltino, Marta Lazar, John Marjoram Lees, Kathy Link, Libby McIntyre, Arlene Mager, Zoe Marcus, Stuart Markowski, Lorene Majeski, Sean Majeski, Gail Mintz, Lev Herschel Ben Batami, Razel Bat Leah Miriam, Melanie Pohl, Eileen Porcelli, Eve Ryder, Rachel Mibet Chaim V'Chava, Arthur Reish, Marcy Fisher-Reiners, Jan Rival, the Saint Amand family, Janice Schwartz, Neil Sefferman, Dolores Silverstein, Bernard Sklar, Roberta Sanino, Guy Stern, Susanna Stern, Barbara Storm, Lucas Sousa, Lauren Yofi, Harith Zapata, as well as all the names in our hearts. May God grant them a refuah shlema, a complete healing of mind, of body, and of spirit.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
The Kaddish may be understood as a praise for the gift of life, love, and thought. It is a reminder of all that came before us. It is a testament to the psalmists and sages, the poets and prophets of our people, who made our life and our faith possible. It is a celebration of our past, our present, and our future. Though it never mentions death, it is a reminder of all the friendships that we have cherished and the memories we have shared. Even in the most painful times, the Kaddish is our statement of faith. And so on this Shabbat, we think of those friends and family who have been taken from us in these most recent days. Shiva, Shloshim, and Shana we mark. Michael Miller, Danny Weintraub, Gary Berman, Louise Hoffman, Donna Perlman, Bernard Brodsky, Harold Schwedel, Shelley Barr, David Schwedel, Henry Leopold, Lorraine Gaynor, Jerry Felder. To their names, we have those whose yahrzeits were marked, those of whose anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate. Bert Balin, Morris Barr, David Blink, Ruth Blumenstein, David Eugene Bernstein, Dora Camden, Dolores Disner, Sarah Farber, Robert Felder, Esther Goldie Fishman, Joseph Ginsburg, Raymond Goldman, Edith Goodman, Marvin Charles Gross, Shirley Gross, Nori Grossman, Joseph Hirsch, Pauline Hirsch, Fanny Keene, Leonard Kerner, Adele Kornfeld, Betty Lieberman, Morris Linden, Harry Miller, Ruth Moore, Louis Belange, Lillian Paul, Francis Pierce, Samuel Pies, Jason Daniel Poland, Miriam Polo, Louis Popper, Anna Portney, Jonathan Raven, Jim Owen Richards, Ida Sakwa, Clara Selleck, Carol Rose Schur, Amy Phyllis Sherman, Esther Siegel, Ruth Siprin, Hilbert Sossin, David Tabashnik, Robert Weinstein. We also, today, as we started with our service, commemorate International Holocaust Remembrance Day. We remember those murdered in the furnaces of hate. As together we join the words of the Kaddish praise, which can be found on page 46 and 47 in our prayer books. Yit Gadal, V'yit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, Ve'amad Divrach, V'yirtei, Ve'amlich Malchutei, B'chayachon, U'v'yomachon, U'v'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala, U'v'izman Kariv, V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rei, Lamei Amaya, Yit Barach, V'yit Shabach, V'yit Pa'ar, V'yit Ramam, V'yit Naseh, V'yit Adar, V'yit Alev, V'yit Halal, Shmei de Kudusha, Brechu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran ve'ama v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mramav, huya say shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who are bereaved. Provide comfort to those in mourning, here and everywhere, as together we say, Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Shabbos, Rabbi.
You guys are missing a good oneg. We're going to enjoy it together. But we're glad you're with us online, in person. A few things to share that are coming up. There is trivia night on February 8th.
Yes.
In 2 weeks. Are you excited for that? Okay, good. Just making sure, Paulette. We have another special oneg that Friday on February 10th. Another themed oneg with nice, tasty food and special drinks. I don't know what the drinks will be yet. But I do know on March 6th, on the night of Purim, we have a whiskey tasting, as we always do, and a studying of the Megillah, a little text study. And the theme of this year's whiskey tasting is whiskeys from our home. Some of the delicious things have been crafted in Michigan, and our home Rabbi Daniels brought us two lovely bottles, or one bottle, of
I drank the other one.
from Israel that we'll get to enjoy, a new Scotch whiskey from Israel that we'll get to enjoy as well. That's been aged in pomegranate wine casks, finished in that too. I know, right? Only the best for friends of Shir Shalom. Other things that are on the horizon are Purim Spiel on March 4th, on Saturday night of that, which would be great, with the theme of the music of Queen. Bohemian Rhapsody, that was it. I knew I missed. Euchre tournament, February 23rd. And the adult trip to Charleston is filling up May 15th through 17th. That should be a great experience together. Looking forward to that, and hope more will jump on board. But we have like 21 of us right now are signed up, so we're excited. We do. I can't tell you what that is, though. I mean, we're at 30 to 40, I think. I know I have enough hotel rooms right now. We'll see. But yeah, I think 30 or so. But we're in good shape, so we're excited. It's going to be great. A few of us are going. You guys should sign up. You're in Italy? Maybe I should go to Italy with you guys. We're talking about doing a Jewish trip to Italy, actually, with our friend Benny from Israel, who's opening up his company there too. And so, yeah, that'd be cool. You're all nodding that one. I know, right? Like Benny introduced us to some great vineyards in Israel. They're better ones in Italy. The Amarone is just not as good in Israel. Anyway, a moment of Tish. questions about anything you might want, I'll look online as well, but we'll start here. Paulette? Thank you. Awesome. I think it's the music most of all, right? So Paulette said that she came to services very stressed, and because of services, she feels much more at ease and relaxed now. And good. That's what it's about. Good. Yes. If no one came and it was just us three, no, we'd probably pull out a bottle of whiskey, tell a few stories, and say a prayer. Let's be honest.
It'd be much shorter.
It would be, if there was, well, it depends. If one of us had a name for Kaddish and wanted to say Kaddish, or other prayers, we might do that then, because we all have names.
So we should probably repeat the question for those online.
Thank you. The question was, if no one were here, and it was just the three of us, and there was no,
Zoom, live
there's
streaming.
no YouTube recording live stream of our services, will we still do services? And the answer is, like I said. But, again, we have names on the Kaddish list that, we read today, and so I still want to say Kaddish and have prayers as well. And, so...
It's a special one, too. And I know I'm not Kendall from Peloton, but
that's right.
If you want to ride with Rabbi Mike for a special 50th birthday, on Monday, you can,
Double nickels.
You can do that. So.
The other guy down in Florida? Yes, this is coming up soon in a week and a half. His is the 9th, right? Rabbi Schwartz, the elder, his is on February 9th. Yes, it is. So, yes. Thank you. Don't need to sing. I got already got a song today. It was great. It was awesome. I got a nice chocolate cake. It's very nice. So, thank you. Thank you. But I'm excited for the ride. Yes? Well, we're going in 2 months. That's a lifetime as far as the conflict in Israel goes.
So what happened, question was, with all the things that are going on in Israel in the last few days, is it still safe for those who are planning on traveling there in March on our community mission, which Rabbi Mike is going to be leading a bus, and there are some families that are going on it. And the answer is yes. It's still safe. The incidents that have happened today, the atrocities in East Jerusalem, the actions by the military in Jenin. We're nowhere near any of the sites, and even when we are, we're not. So
if things were so tense, and we've been to Israel where we couldn't be in Israel and had to come home, right? When I was stuck there during the war with Lebanon, Rabbi was there with one of the wars with Gaza, and so we had to come home because missiles were landing in Israel proper, where we were with our groups, and so we didn't feel as comfortable. That being the case, it was more because we had large groups. We personally didn't feel really at risk.
And we were with groups of teens. So we were responsible for other people's children and making decisions. The entire time, I felt safe. We weren't making decisions that we were putting anybody's life in jeopardy, that we were in places that we needed to worry about. But because of the perception of a war going on and missiles landing in counties, or they call them regions, that are a little bit further away from us, but neighboring regions, we knew that the right decision at those times was not to remain there. But an adult mission would probably different because people are making their own decisions for themselves.
Right, and some would choose not to, I'm sure, right, if that were happening. And my son's been living in Israel since 2019, right, and has spent many a night in bomb shelters in the spring of 21, and last spring there was a couple nights too when there were some missiles coming home from Gaza, and so even in Herzliya, he was going to a club in Tel Aviv one night last year, and the concert ended and they had to go to a bomb shelter. So that happens, but he never felt unsafe. He felt more frustrated. They was woken up at 1 a.m. or his party got interrupted, So, but he didn't feel He wasn't concerned. I was texting with him today and saying, how does it feel tense right now? I mean, Rabbi just got home yesterday from Israel, and he can tell us, but it was probably happening as you were flying. For those who don't know, Israel, when it was in the West Bank and took out some terrorists, they had intel that there was terrorist activity that was going to be attacking Israel, and 9 Palestinians were killed, 6 or 7 of whom were terrorists involved in this. 2 were civilians, right? And so the Palestinians have claimed retaliation. A man in East Jerusalem with a gun went into a synagogue, actually shot 2 people outside the synagogue, an older woman and a man on a motorcycle, then went into the synagogue and shot a few other people. 7 people were killed. A number of others were injured. The terrorist was shot and killed as well. That was in East Jerusalem. And so what's interesting is it's rare to see an attack like that with a gun in Israel. Israeli Jews can't just get guns like you can in America. And so that's why you see often attacks when they do occur with a knife. So Asher said to me, I said, is it feeling tense? Not really. He said a couple rockets already came from Gaza, were intercepted by Iron Dome. He says, but we expect something's probably going to happen tonight from both angles. He says, so I wouldn't be surprised if I'm woken up at 2, 3 in the morning again and have to go to a shelter. So, every building has those, and you know that. That's what Israelis live with, especially when you're living where he lives. So, but he's like, yeah, I just got lots of work to do because my final projects are due. So that's what he's focused on. And that's sort of the Israeli perspective. It was before?
It was prior to it was after I left. So nothing, it was different.
Yeah. Well, and there's still spots available, open on our trip to Israel, leaving March 12th. It begins on Monday, March 13th. And so it should be a lovely trip. And I'm thrilled some of you, conference, are going with us. And we have a nice group. So a nice community gathering of 130 of us, I think, from our community going together. So, well, with that in mind, we're going to enjoy an oneg. For those of you who are home, you can enjoy your onegs too. And, but let us rise for our closing prayers.
And think of us as you're enjoying
What's that?
yours. And they can think of us while we're
That's right.
enjoying ours. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you. May God protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God shine upon you, and may God shine through you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God always be a part of who we are. May us all of our hopes and our blessings, giving us a blessing of shalom, of peace in our hearts and our mind. And please, God, help us bring more peace into our world.
Amen. V'yasem lecha shalom.
Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Shabbos. Shabbat shalom.
You can go back to hugging that, right?
Yes.